Cranking some Virgin Witch. There they are. They're heavy. Mika, how's it going? DRS, how's it going, buddy? Here they are. How's it going?
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello.
We're all doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Can
Sweet.
you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. I can hear you guys too. The guy on this guy is kind of not in the picture. Who is this guy? Is this the bass player? You're kicking out the bass player?
No. I'm the bass player.
Oh, there he is. All right, front and center. Right on. So what's new?
Not much. Played a gig last night, which is fun.
First gig with a new vocalist.
Yeah, Caleb's joined, which makes the lineup complete now.
Awesome.
Which is cool.
And how'd the show go?
Really well. Best one we've done so far, I think.
The turnout was amazing.
Badass. Where'd you guys play?
Chinnery's, South End.
This venue called Chinnery's, in South End.
And where are you guys from?
So yeah, South End in the UK.
Yeah, like South End.
Right on. What's the scene like there?
Amazing.
Yeah, pretty good.
Honestly, like South End, Ipswich, like Brighton, all like the southeast England actually has a really good metal scene. Like I was surprised at how many people turn up to all these local shows and they support these bands coming up and all sorts. It's just really cool to see.
Badass. And would you say that it's still growing?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Never stops growing.
Now that we're in it.
What I like to hear.
Phrasing.
So let's get it going. So how'd you guys get started? Like, what got you into metal? What attracted you to metal?
Okay,
we'll do one by one.
This way. When I was young, I saw I can't remember what movie it was, but AC/DC was like the soundtrack to one of the scenes or some shit.
Yeah.
And I listened to that, and it was great. And as I got a bit older, some of my friends showed me metal. I was like, this is like that, but on steroids. It just got heavier, heavier. Loved it.
Right on.
Just like a constant intensity. It's got to be intense. Got to have a punch to where, no breaks, just constant aggression. Makes you feel alive. Not sure when it actually started. I just knew when I heard it, I loved it, and it's all I wanted music-wise.
Right on.
I'm sorry, I choked on spit there. So my family, especially like my mum and dad, they raised me on metal. So like my dad's been like around in like the 80s thrash metal scene and all sorts, when like Slayer was still a small band and that. And
Nice.
so obviously when I was like 6 or like 7, I was hearing like Rammstein and Slipknot and Marilyn Manson played in the car, and then it just went on from there. I started finding out where this came from, and just listening to it by myself, and then just discovering what bands I liked, and it just went on from there.
Right on.
Yeah. I mean, it was probably my dad. Like, we played Slipknot all the time when I was little. And then just from there, sort of cascaded to something a bit deeper than that.
So are you guys like early 20s for age?
Yes.
Yeah.
Early 20s, about to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
21, almost 22.
Right on.
19.
21.
21, perfect. Yeah, when you said your dad was listening to Slipknot, my dad was listening to like Dio and Sabbath, so you kind of tell where the age ranges are, where your parents were listening to. So how'd you guys get started as a band, and how long have you been playing? I know that you got a new lead singer, but the 3 others, have you guys been original members?
Well, yeah, we sort of started this band in college, which was not that long ago, actually.
As a joke, essentially. It started as a joke. A little, he said, "Oh, I play guitar." Someone else from college said, "Oh, I play drums," and I was like, "I can learn bass, and we can just jam." And then that started.
Yeah, we jammed a few times and it was terrible. Played some covers with some like ghost songs and some like I think played House of the Rising Sun and just random shit.
Too many times, and we decided that the drummer wasn't what we were really looking for.
Yeah, we decided we might take it a bit more seriously, so we recruited Adam on drums because we
Right
knew
on.
him, obviously. So,
And how long have you guys been together now?
uh,
I can't even remember.
um,
I want to say
about, I don't know.
four-ish years.
I remember, so
I think like three, maybe 4 years, something like that.
so like,
But we haven't been like properly going for it until like the past maybe 2 years.
it's obviously like we spent like 2018 just jamming and figuring out our sound in like a small shed. And then, as Kendall said, it wasn't till about 2019 when we released our first ever track that we were really like starting to go ahead and promoting ourselves and eventually getting gigs once all this, COVID pandemic all blew over and gigs were actually allowed to be back.
Right. So do you think the COVID helped you guys out, just like tightening the band? And, like, I know a lot of people like to put like stage performances in, making a whole concert. Did that help you guys out, like putting a real performance in, dialing in your performance?
Definitely helped a lot because when we first started, we wanted to play a gig immediately, but we were nowhere near ready. And then, so we had one that we were going to play that would have gone terribly, but it got cancelled because of COVID, thankfully, actually. And then, we used that lockdown time to write new songs and build up our set list a bit more and make things sound better and tighten up.
And the band name. How did we come up with this band name, Virgin Witch?
That is literally this guy. This guy's answering this one.
No.
Just like musical chairs.
Okay, so when we was in college, we couldn't think of a band name. You want to tell them what you were going to say?
Okay.
We shouldn't.
So, thinking of band names, and it had to be based on like old movies, White Zombie, White Zombie, Black Sabbath. It sounded cool.
Mhm.
And the first initial band draft name was Dr. Caligari's Futanari, which we had to change that name for reasons
of
because
we wanted to do anything properly.
we probably wouldn't be able to share the name around as much. And
so one night I was just staying. I couldn't sleep, so I was watching the horror channel, and this movie come on called Virgin Witch, and I thought that sounds like a cool name, so I started watching it, and it was basically like a porno horror. It was really weird. It was kind of cool though. It was funny.
I use horror movies to find band names too. I used to play in a band called Dead by Dawn. Evil Dead reference. But yeah, horror movies are great to get any sort of influence.
I really like horror, and I watch a lot of movies, so it sort of makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
And it sounded
Favorite
cool.
horror movie?
Favorite horror movie? Silence of the Lambs. That counts as horror.
Friday 13th.
Honestly, I'm pretty basic. I go for the Final Destination series. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Those movies are like comedies to me.
Awesome. So, for people that don't know you, how would you describe your sound?
That's a tough one.
It's really difficult because we all like to put influences in from like different styles, not just in metal but just in music. Mm-hmm. So obviously for me personally, I'll listen to a lot of deathcore, maybe some black metal, but then I'll also listen to a lot of trap as well, and I'll like try and throw in like an 808 in there if possible. If it mixes in well, I'm not gonna like throw an 808 in there if it's just unnecessary. and like obviously you
I
you have
think,
like other influences, and everyone has like different influences. So it's really hard to determine what like to have us like solidified sound.
Hmm.
So the way I'd describe it would be like deathcore or like hardcore, but like
The
a
best
bit
of
like
core,
slammy bits in there. Yeah.
the best
Yeah.
of core with slam, a little bit of old influences, a little bit of modern influences, just the best that metal has to offer from like every little subgenre. We
Just
don't
yeah,
taking
discriminate.
everything and just throwing it into one
yeah. The
pot.
band as a whole doesn't sound like any other band. It's like,
Without
each,
sounding biased.
yeah, well, when we write a song, we have like things we're listening to at the moment that we want to
Hmm.
put into a song, and then we write that song, and then we're happy with it. And we do the same with another song, but it's different bands, and then each song ends up sounding a bit different, which is cool.
Nice. So who are some influences for you guys growing up when you first started playing and now?
Let's go on, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Bring Me the Horizon has been like my favorite band for a long time. I think they're great. But their old stuff was like when we first started the band, like I'd play like Count Your Blessings kind of riffs all the time because they're fun and they sound cool. But now it's a bit like um, I don't know, like knock loose kind of stuff, Black Tongue influence stuff. Bit different, really.
For me, has to be like the scene, Bitterwood, Knock Loose, Alpha Wolf. Uh, Pretty sure I can mention them. Dealer when they're around. I like them. Uh, yeah, just the brutality and rawness of the core scene. Just I don't know. It's something special to me. It's yeah, very very unique.
So I think I'm probably just gonna like name drummers because obviously I feel like it's a much more personal thing because drums are my instrument. I feel like if I name drummers, it might again as a lot bit more personal. So early on, it was like when the drummer that got me to like pick up the sticks and actually learn drums was the late Joey Jordison. Like watching him and listening to his music, it was just heavily inspiring, and
Yeah.
it just the way he wrote his songs and the way he performed it just blew my mind. And also
Hmm.
I'd say Christian CC Coma from Black Veil Brides. I know they're a hated band, but I again I thought his drumming was just really entertaining. But I guess now I'd say definitely Dominator, who was in Dark Funeral but now in like Norjavel, because
Hmm.
it's just his blasts were insane. It's just super quick. He's just going all around the kit and he's not even breaking a sweat. I'd say the same thing for Alex Bent from Trivium. Like he filled in the shoes for Trivium like so like really well, and it's just like the way he's vibing with the other guys is just unbelievable. The albums they've been writing recently just been insane. It's always just topped it on my albums of the year whenever they've released something. And I'd throw in one more, and that would honestly be the Knock Loose drummer, because even though he's playing some simplistic hardcore stuff, he's just hard hitting, and
Mhm.
it slaps so hard.
Well, yeah, that's a good word to describe it. So, for the fellows over at Black Veil Brides, do you think they get a lot of slack for just the way they look?
Um,
You think that's the
I
biggest
think,
thing?
yeah, I think when they did the Kiss look, that was the biggest bit of the part of the hate. I think, and I used to sit down and watch the interviews with the band and that, and they'd say themselves that um they got a lot of hate from the Kiss makeup and stuff because that was their main influence in the look wise. And then they
Right.
sit down and listen to the music, and then they'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's actually really good." It's not
Good.
the same for everyone because I know not everyone vibes it, but it has been the occurrence of people. So I think during like the 2011 years, it was the makeup.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Caleb, you're
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Influences.
my influences are really weird and broad. In that, like, also there's just a lot of metal music that it goes as well, like both ends of the spectrum. So
Hmm.
I can go from, I mean, my influences sort of go from like soul music electronic music to just like the extremist of metal, and it was definitely like I feel like recently anyway, bands like Not Loose and a lot of like the newer deathcore bands have sort of inspired me a bit in ways to sort of shape how I go about my vocals
Mhm.
and as well again like growing up listening to like bands like Slipknot and a lot of like the that 90s, that 2000s like alternative metal sort of thing,
Right.
sort of really helped sort of get me into sort of what I wanted to kind of go for when it comes to vocals.
Nice.
Sort of that angry kind of yell thing.
Nice. Can't go wrong. So what type of gear are you guys using?
Well, in terms of guitars, I've been using Ibanez for pretty much forever. I've got other guitars, but Ibanez is just nice. I think they just feel.
Are you using a 7 string?
Yeah, 7 string, 7 string multi-scale because it's just comfortable.
Right on.
For amps, I use a Marshall head because it just sounds really nice, and that's what all the rock, rock and roll fucking guitar players used to play. And I always wanted to play one, and now I am. So pretty much Ibanez and Marshall for me.
Nice. It's a good combo.
I've been all over the shop, but recently I feel like I'm going to settle down. I am currently my main bass is currently a Squire 70s classic vibe jazz bass. Absolutely beautiful.
5 string.
5 string, of course. Uh, my go-to pedal at the moment is the Dark Glass Adam pedal because that's just revolutionary, and Dark Glass are always just pushing ahead when it comes to bass and bass sounds. Uh, Bass head, a Mark's bass head. Just keep it simple. And what is the brand of the cab? We have a bass cab, but we don't know what brand it is. But
it's your own brand.
reliable. It's reliable. It's sturdy, and if anyone comes to our shows and knows what it is, please tell us because we don't know what the name is, and I love it. I love the bits.
Symbol wise, recently it's been the Minor Classics custom. Like I've been watching videos and I've bought a few cymbals recently, but from that range, and it's just sounded really good. It's just been sounding really sharp and clean, and it's just made the songs sound better live. I used to use a couple of Zildjians, maybe some like off-brand ones, and I think a few Pisces, and they were really good. Don't get me wrong, but they just didn't hit as hard as these Minor cymbals do. So I think I'm going to stick with Minor. And in terms of the drums, it's been Pearl. Pearl is my shit. Pearl, like I can't say anything. I can't say like as much shit as I do about Pearl because I'd be here all day. I just think it's just some great drums there. It's just all the material and all the woodwork and that is just amazing. It's just
Nice.
Pearl all day.
For me, I sort of just live off of plugins now.
Right
I
on.
don't really have a lot of room where I live for like proper gear, so I just
I use
sort of,
plugins too, actually.
yeah, I know.
Plugins of the future.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're very reliable.
Love
So,
more hate than they are the future.
yeah, but like I play guitar as well, so I use that for like guitar tones too, and then even
Sweet.
for vocals, like I use like I think it's like a Joey Sturgis tones one. I forgot. I think it's the Howard Benson one. I use that for
Sweet.
pretty much everything I do vocally because I just love it. It's just literally
Awesome.
all in one. It's perfect. But yeah, gear wise, I just live off of plugins pretty much.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Metal Mad TV. What's your favorite music of 2021?
Oh, favorite release.
We'll do favorite album or EP. We'll choose one each.
Yeah.
A Tear in the Fabric of Life. Not Loose. That's probably my favorite of 2021. Great album. EP.
Nice.
I've got to do three. I can't decide. Return to Nothingness by Lorna Shore. Love that. The two Crystal Lake singles, Mephisto and Curse, and the new Sea Space Cowboy EP. Can listen to those and repeat all day without getting bored. Love them to bits.
Nice.
Okay, I'm gonna do a favorite album and a favorite EP. Favorite EP was Lorna Shore, and I Return to Nothingness, hands down. Will is a perfect fit to that, and
Will
Austin
Ramos' daddy. Will Ramos' daddy.
and Austin Archer's drumming was just sick. Honestly, as a drummer, it was fucking revolutionary. And album, I would genuinely say Architects, for those that wish to exist, because they changed their sound slightly, but I feel like they did it so well, like
Mhm.
with everything they incorporated into it, and they had it all balanced. So you had a bit of everything. You had a bit of the old stuff, and you had this new stuff. And
Mhm.
like, not many people liked it, but I fucking loved it.
Nice.
Me, it's probably Eternal Blue by Spirit Box. That's like
Can't really fuck them.
I've
Gearbox.
I've listened to that album a lot. It's just for a debut album, it's just fucking it's sick.
Yeah. Spirit Box, they're Canadian too, right? I think.
Yeah.
I'm from Toronto, so
Hmm.
I just Spirit Box and that new Lorna Shore album for like the past like 6 months has just been everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's been the
They
massive.
deserve to be.
They're both getting really big now.
It's been the big talking point of metal, and I'm very pleased at that, because you know the deathcore, the metalcore has really taken a massive soar in popularity recently because of those bands.
Just pushing the boundaries, getting the music out there, proving that we're not just all loud screams and random noises, but it's actually a form of art. Pretty much.
So how does the writing process work for you guys? Are you guys like a jam band? You just show up and start playing, or do you sit down and talk about just like one little riff? Or
The writing process sort of changed a little bit recently, because what we've been doing for a while is just me and Adam, we both live in the same house. When we're down here jamming, I come up with a riff, then Adam comes up with a drum beat. We jam on that for a bit, come up with some more riffs, and then build it up from there. But now, Caleb's joined the band, so that means writing's a bit more
Easier.
It's a bit easier because he plays guitar as well, so he can have some more influence on things and structures. And
nice.
So all the new shit's a bit more varied. It's nice.
Yeah, like recently, as kind of said, it has made the writing process much more easier, because essentially we all put something into it, like in each instrument. So obviously, as Kendall said, Caleb can play guitar. I do a lot of like electronic programming. Kieran writes some really good lyrics, and we all come together and write, like literally, like we can write something for each other. Because even Kendall will have a really good like drum bit in mind, or even Caleb, and I'll just be like, okay, that's actually really good. It worked well for this, so I'll play that. And it's that chemistry and how we have the talent for what we do is just perfect.
That sounds awesome. Who's the riff master? Guitar Junkie wants to know who is the riff master.
Actually,
Well, actually, both.
Yeah,
This
both,
guy
yeah.
and this guy here.
Yeah. So far it's been me, but now we got a new song in the works, and yeah.
Uh-oh.
pretty much.
Another
It
set of
depends on
hands.
the taste. Do you want absolute heavy, nasty riffs, or do you want some like ethereal, beautiful, riffy, stuff that'll take you to like another dimension?
With massive load of inspiration. Straight up load of inspiration right there.
We want it all. Both of it together.
Both.
Stick it together.
So how much time do you devote to practice? Like how much time do you put into practice?
Well, as a band, we jam like once a week, and then maybe like a couple more times when we've got like gigs coming up. And
If we've got a gig that week, we'll usually like amp up the practice. But usually it's like once a week usually, and then like we'll practice in our own time.
individually, we'll practice
All the time?
So.
practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Practice makes
And we're
perfect.
not there yet.
Once a week, yeah, that's pretty good. When I jammed in a band, I didn't live with any band members, but we jammed like once or twice. And when I was playing in a band, I was still in school, so it was like the weekends. And then one had a kid, fucked it all up for all of us, and not in a band anymore.
There's
Yeah.
always one.
Yeah, that'll do it.
There's always one. I'm not sure which one of you it's going to be, but there's always one.
Yeah, not me.
Where are we here? So how do you guys overcome writer's block?
We don't.
You don't?
Um,
Just throw it in the garbage?
Every time we write some songs and by the end of it we're really happy with the song, I always think, like, fuck, how are we going to write something better than this? And with our first EP, I thought, is this the best thing we'll be able to do? And now we've got this new one coming out soon, hopefully. And it's so much better. So I know that even though I'm in those moments where I can't think of anything that's good enough, I know that I will get there. So it sort of makes me think,
Just keep
Okay.
working it out kind of thing?
just keep playing some shit and learning other bands' songs as well. That helps because you play shit you wouldn't normally play.
Yeah. So do you use like other... So if you're like sitting there with a writer's block, I feel like every musician gets it where like everything you're pushing out, to you sounds bad, but to somebody else might sound really good. But do you use do you just go crank one of your favorite bands to try and get inspired, or do you just sit there and just keep grinding it out?
I sort of have something in mind of what I want, rough idea of what I want something to sound like. I just listen to bands that sound similar to that, and I can write 100 riffs and not like any of them, so I won't show them to anyone. I just think they're shit, not even.
Personally, I'd say like when I go for writer's block, I usually just take a break for a bit. I'll take a break from what I'm doing, where like writing or playing, and I'll go and do something else. But at the same time, I'll maybe have a bit of music in the background, and again, I can listen to like just anything that I like. And if something just pops into mind, then I'll just like note it down, or if I got time, I'll drum it out or type it up on a MIDI and just save it to my phone. Or even if I'm not doing that, sometimes I can get inspiration from watching TV. And I know that sounds weird, but like if I hear an advert and it has that little jingle music in the background, but I'm like, okay, maybe I could add that groove, but in some really fucked way into our song, and then it's like, oh shit, I've got something, and then
Insert Viagra advert here. Are you having trouble getting it out?
that sort of
Now you have a tune called The Blue Pill.
You know what? That's a really good song. That blue pill or like red pill. That'd be like EP names, Like I could
I'd
buy
have
that.
to go trippy with that. It'd have to be like a whole Matrix thing. I'm not ready for that. That's too deep.
Matrix and erections. Yeah.
Mr. Anderson, I see you're having trouble getting hard.
So what are you guys working on now?
Currently we're working on, we're finishing up the vocals for this upcoming EP, and like maybe getting the bass tracks and like getting a bit of like the production done in the background. And then other than that, we're beginning to write. I'm going to spill this an album, like a debut album. And again, like people that have listened to us, it's been like heavy. It's just slap people in the face and breakdowns and stuff. And obviously it's still going to be that, but there is going to be some like other elements into it. It's going to be like very varied. You'll still get the heavy shit, but you're going to get some other stuff in there as well that you've never heard from us.
A few queens.
I'd say in terms of influence, a lot of the influence has been pulled, especially for maybe like the heavier tracks, that will be very varied. Yeah, we're sort of trying to grab from all the influences that we will pull from as musicians. So
nice, awesome. So what was the last concert you guys bought a ticket for?
I think mine was, I don't know if it was the last one I bought, but I'm pretty sure it was one of the last ones I bought. Lorna Shore. Yeah, they're playing London on the 30th. So I'm excited for that.
last one I bought as well. It was Lorna Shore, but the last one I went to was Architects. Yeah, October 26th.
I'd say is a last ticket I bought, and it was like a show that I actually went to. I think was Higher Power at the Underworld in Camden, and the one obviously I bought recently for an upcoming show it must have been either Lorna Shore or if I think it was like I don't know if I bought it yet, but it might have been Gojira at Ali Pali. But if not, then it's Lorna Shore. These two.
Nice.
Daddy Ramos.
Nanny Ramos.
Okay. That the last gig I went to, like bought a ticket for, was Loathe. I saw Loathe live in London at La Lafayette. It was this really small, half restaurant, half venue, and that's probably one of the best gigs I've been to that year. Only problem is I caught COVID, so that wasn't great, but it
That's
was
never
fun.
good.
I had fun.
Oh, that's all that matters, right? How you feeling now?
I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm still sort of getting like some breathing troubles, but I'm just sort of getting
Pushing
back
through.
up to where my rep support was before,
Oh, that's
and
good.
I should be there in no time. So
Awesome. Well, it's glad that you're getting better, man, because
thank
COVID's
you.
it's wiping everybody out. We just gotta we're going back into like hardcore restrictions where I am because it's popping up everywhere again. I just got my third booster shot the other day. It's like I thought it'd be I just thought it was gonna turn into the flu, to be honest with you. Like, I just got COVID. But
I caught even funnier. I caught COVID a day before my booster was supposed to kick in,
oh wow.
so it was just sort of that extra punch in the face, pretty
Yeah.
much.
That's shitty, man. Hopefully it just disappears because I'm fucking sick of it.
Yeah, we are.
So here's a quiz. This is a good one. You ready for this one?
Yeah, fire away.
Get prepared. What subgenre of metal do you think is most influential to metal as a whole?
That's a difficult one.
As I said in like one of the past questions, definitely deathcore and metalcore. The core scene's just been like
in terms of
really
now,
popping off now.
metalcore, I think, in terms of now.
Mhm.
As a whole, though, like classic metal, like Black Sabbath, the Motorhead, they influenced all of it.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense to be a real answer. But now, I guess metalcore is just doing a bit of everything.
In terms of like, I'd say just like what you hear the most of, probably like hardcore.
Yeah,
Because you hear the elements of hardcore in a lot of bands these days,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like it's almost like that little silent protagonist that's always been there. It probably won't go away anytime soon. So I reckon hardcore's been that weirdly influential genre that's
That's
sort of
just creeping up. It's always just
yeah.
at the back, creeping up, getting ready for its time when it's rightfully ready to
like
become stable.
when used to throwing hardcore, and it's made me think like I feel like as well. Sounds weird, but like I feel like in a sense like new metal's kind of made a comeback, especially hitting with the metalcore scene as well, where they've done that '90s influence. Like now, like we've got like Kane and Higher Power sort of really dragging this to the mainstream, and like it's kind of cool because I have a very deep love for new metal, especially like Korn and Slipknot, and to name a few others. And it's always just been that hard hitting. It's always been that. It's just something I can just vibe out to if I've got nothing else to listen to.
It's really like people are loving like the Korn and Slipknot vibe right now.
Yeah.
You definitely hear it a lot. Like also, like when you listen to like old Korn, you can sort of hear where like people grab their influences from. Like
Right.
especially like the piercing high, like dissonant chord things that people do, like breakdowns and stuff. Like you hear that a lot in like Korn's older music. And it's kind of like, yeah, that's probably what they grew up listening to, and that's sort of what they picked up on, and now they're sort of carrying it on to the next generation of bands and musicians.
Yeah. I love the Deftones. Deftones were my favorite out of
Oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
Deftones.
just like
Um,
I don't know, everybody in that band, every single part, individual part is so simple, but when you put them all together, it's just fucking crazy.
it takes you to another place.
Fucking Deftones are just something else. I don't know how they do it.
That's another thing. I love that Deftones vibe.
Oh,
That's
Yeah,
probably why I
it's
love
sick.
the bands like
It feels so nostalgic. Like
Yeah.
you can hear it for the first time, and you're just like,
yeah.
I swear I've heard this before, but I don't know where.
It's like bands like Sleep Token, especially the newest album. I feel like has the most Deftones vibes in it.
Mhm.
Like Hypnosis reminds me a lot of what's it called again? My Own Summer. I don't know why. For whatever reason, it really reminds me of that song. Because whenever I'm singing it on my own, I always do like the cloud whisper thing before the guitars kick in, because it just
Yeah.
reminds me of that song so much. And like Telomeres reminds me of something off as like Saturday Night Wrist or like Diamond Eyes or something.
Mhm. Do you like the new album?
yeah, the
Love
new
it.
album's
I
brilliant.
Love it.
Homes was amazing.
Yeah.
That was really
I really
Genesis.
liked them.
Genesis is awesome.
Oh,
Love that
Genesis.
song.
Whoa. That's all I could describe it. Whoa.
It's heavy. It's heavy. So if you guys were to put together a little tour and you were to bring 3 bands with you, who would be those 3 bands?
We'll go.
Right. My favourite genre is deathcore, so mostly it's going to be deathcore, I guess. I have Chelsea Grin as the headliner because I think they're fucking great. And probably Not Blues because they're great too. They're hardcore. I've taken a lot of inspiration from them kind of recently, so playing a gig with them would be fucking awesome. And Black Ton, that'd be great to have them because I've seen them live. They're fucking good. So yeah, that's a lineup where if we played, we would look like a shit band. That'd be great to tour with them anyway.
I need a full hardcore lineup. So headlining, I will have Not Blues because Not Blues. What more do you need to say? I will also have Traitors. Just the heaviness to see the carnage in the pit go down. One of my personal favorite bands. We nearly played with them as well. Bitterwood. I would need to have Bitterwood there. I love those guys to death.
Heavy.
And whenever we get the chance to play with them, it will be a dream come true.
Honestly, I think headline I'd go Whitechapel straight up. It's like possibly my favourite deathcore band as a whole. And that every album I've loved off them. Main support I'd go for Venom Prison because again they're one of them death metal bands that are just rising, and they're just fucking amazing. And I'm kind of boasted a bit. One of them follows me on Instagram. I'm like that. Oh yay, possible gig! You know, something like that. I'm like yay, possible gig with Venom Prison one day. And this third one's gonna be a weird one. But I saw these back up Mayhem at the Electric Ballroom in London, and you know what? It worked so well. It's a synthwave artist called Ghost, spelled Gost, and obviously he's been popping up lately.
I'll have to check that out.
And it was just weird to see him support like Mayhem, and I was just like, because he's had that like, I guess that like blackened influence behind his synthwave music, and funny enough, many people in the crowd enjoyed it despite like being black metal fans and all that. It was just like, holy shit, they're actually digging it.
Yeah, I'll have to check those guys out. Gost? Is that how you spell it?
Yeah, Gost.
Okay.
Me, probably like, I feel like if we ever managed to get Slipknot on a headlining tour,
Oh yeah.
I'd cry my eyes out.
That's life complete. That's life complete.
Call that wishful thinking. But probably like Slipknot, Thy Art Is Murder would be really cool as well.
Mate.
And
Yeah.
This is a good lineup.
This is
It's
the
a totally
tentative
song.
lineup.
Probably like Knocked Loose. Probably.
Tastiest lineup.
So, yeah, you want Tasty's line
Tasty's
that
lineup.
was. Holy shit.
That's a badass lineup. Those are some heavy shows.
Mm.
So as a band, if you could collaborate with another band, who would it be?
Well, we've got some ideas for the upcoming stuff to be. We've got a couple of people we want to feature, and someone we've already got as a feature.
Shout out to Patty from Existentialist.
Yeah,
He's
that's,
featuring on one of our upcoming songs. Can we say the name? He's featuring on an upcoming song called Butcher.
Nice.
Pretty heavy lyrics, pretty weird lyrics.
Yeah, so
But-
he helped us out big time on that one, and
Massive thanks to him.
Honestly,
great
shout
voice,
out.
great voice,
Big shout out.
Yeah.
great
Check
band.
'em out.
We're playing with them next week.
Follow Existentialist.
Yeah,
Really
his band's called Existentialist. It's like proper, like fucking straight up
We'll be
death.
playing with them in Colchester. We're playing with them in Colchester on the 12th. So yeah, definitely give them a listen. Those guys are great.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Um,
Patty is like, his vocals are ridiculous. When these guys showed me that song, I was like, how am I supposed to perform this live?
But you've done it.
he actually
Yeah,
can do
I
it. Yeah.
somehow did it. Yeah, but
Yeah, for future stuff though, we're looking at we're looking at some small, like more local bands as well, like those guys. But in terms of bigger artists, we want to try and get the route we're going down. You might try and get something like maybe Sam Carter from Architects or from
Oh, yeah, I remember that, Courtney.
from Spirit Box. That'd be cool.
Awesome.
Who else do you want to feature?
Yes.
Oh,
Ramos
yeah.
would be sick.
Oh,
Yeah, having Will Ramos on one of our songs would be brilliant. It'd also be cool to have what's his name, like Chris, I think it's like Chris Rotter or whatever. I can't pronounce his last name, but the dude's name's Chris. He's from like Moths and Flames,
Oh, yeah,
and
definitely.
I think like there's like if we wrote like just a song that we all vibe with and it fit his voice, and I'd definitely have him on there because he's got that like melodic metalcore voice.
This is going to be a weird one, but like Trent Reznor. I don't know why. I absolutely love Nine Inch Nails, and I just feel like that would just be cool. Just
Actually,
You can make it fit.
I would want a duo feature as well. A duo feature. Mattia and Simone from Defamed. Those two, like the way they combine their vocal styles together, and it's just, I don't know, it's crazy.
I'll plug one more guy in. I definitely want to have Michael Stallion from Dark Tranquility because he's got some great screams and his singing's amazing. And I think again, it's up with Chris. If we wrote a song that just fit that guy's voice, we'd be able to pull it off.
Alex.
How about Chino? Your music with Chino in there.
Oh, having Shino from Deftones.
yeah, that would be.
That would be massive. And
Might just do that.
the fact is, he himself discovered Loathe, so that's where it's
Do you
like
know
he
what?
does go for smaller
Maybe,
artists.
maybe that should be like something for the album.
I don't know. We
Maybe.
might do that.
Keep in mind, you know,
Maybe.
you never
There you
know.
Oh, nice.
You never know. We might have some low-V, like some Deftonesy tracks lined up, maybe.
The way,
You've got to follow us to find out.
yeah.
No promises. But follow
Follow
us.
Virgin Witch. Yeah, I just want to say thanks for being here, guys. Really appreciate you guys showing up.
No worries.
And
Thanks for
before
giving
we
us the
take off,
platform.
if you guys want to, plug away where people can find your music, what's coming up, shows, merch, all that good stuff, the floor is yours.
Spotify, YouTube, Deezer, Apple Music,
SoundCloud, I think.
It's on everything.
It's on
Not
Every
Napster.
platform.
Not Napster.
not Napster or LimeWire,
Napster,
not them
LimeWire.
two. Sorry, if you use them two, then you're a bit out of luck. But every other
everywhere
streaming
you
service
find
you can
us,
use.
we exist.
Also, and this is a message to the south and the east of England, if anyone from there is watching this. So we're playing Colchester on this Wednesday, on the 12th of January. We're with Existentialist and Perpetual Paradox. We are playing Brighton and Hove on the 21st of January with Sonnet the Damned, Glower, and Before I Wake. And
We got some more lined up that aren't properly announced, but
we've got one more that's basically being announced. We're playing Ipswich on the 5th of February with
as well.
Arms to Oblivion, Killer Corp, Regicide. There's another band. If they're watching this, I'm very sorry, but I have not looked at this lineup a lot. And at the moment, that is all we've got announced, but we have more to follow.
We have plenty more to be announced.
But we've got plenty more.
In terms of merch, we will have some soon-ish, kind of.
We're trying, okay? Don't judge us. We're trying.
We're
I know
still
the
small.
struggle.
Breathing.
We're working on possibly getting merch sorted in during this year, hopefully.
Well, yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
100%.
So yeah, we hope to get like some pretty good merch out soon. So
Nice.
Listen to our new single. It's been out for about a month.
Dissonance Delirium.
It's again, it's on all streaming services. We've been basically paying attention to Spotify and YouTube. So if you have that, stream it on that. But
Stream it on Spotify.
if you have Apple Music and that, it doesn't really matter to us. As long as you're listening to it and actually showing support to us, then
we appreciate
it. Yeah, exactly. Took words out of my mouth then.
Listen out for the new shit. We'll have some more coming soon.
Yeah, we've now got music coming left and right and fucking center and backwards and all sorts, everywhere.
Can't wait. Badass, guys. Hey, thanks again.
Oh, thanks
No
for having
problem.
us.
Thank you,
Well,
Alex.
Definitely have to do this again when that album comes out.
100%.
Or when you get your merch out.
Yeah.
So we can plug our merch.
We'll send you exclusive merch so you can try it on the live stream.
Cheers, guys.
Since we've talked about so much.
All right, cheers.
Thank
Check
you.
them out.
Thank you.
Have a good one, guys.
You too.
You too.
See you later. Take care.
Who we got in here still? Oh, look at them. Look at them scatter.
We've now moved from our seats.
It's just that awkward moment.
I'm going to press the X now.
There you go.
See you soon.
Cheers, fellas.
Bye.
bye.
They can play badass music but can't find the off button. Badass guys. And heavy as fuck. You should got anybody in here who's still in here. Go follow them right now. Virgin Witch. Check them out. I'll be back tomorrow. 4 p.m. Eastern time. Keep it loud. Keep it heavy. Cheers.